Thank you for tuning into our podcast, Canal Days, What Life is Like in the Industrial Connecticut River Valley of Massachusetts. I am your host, Carrie, and joining us today is Holyoke's very own local historian and creator of the historical tours of Greater Holyoke, Robert Comu. He personally offers and leads public and private tours, as well as presentations of historical sites within communities throughout the state of Massachusetts. Currently, the communities he has chosen to focus on this year are Holyoke, Chicopee, South Hadley, and East Hampton, and also Granby and Amherst as well. His tours spotlight the local canals, reservoirs, cemeteries, and churches, as well as various parks, streets, and selected historical houses within each community. Today's episode will be discussing the Blessed Sacrament Church located in Northampton, Mass. So, what is the history of this church?
The church was started, its foundation basement was put in 1889, and its upper parts were worked on in 1900, and we finished that year. The cornerstone is still there from 1900. And it's a Catholic church that served the needs of that particular community, the upper part of Northampton itself. Of course, it's short of Florence. And this community is based pretty much upon the Catholic faith, and the ethnic groups that went to it were various, mostly the Irish, but since it was a little bit away from the others, it would take in the French Canadians and the Polish too, if they didn't want to go downtown. All right, and so today we're going to talk about its architectural style, and then what happened to this church in terms of how it's related to the four other Catholic churches around Northampton, and then about the neighborhood that it's embedded in, because there's a lot to that neighborhood.
And what is the architectural style of this church?
It's a neo-Gothic style, Gothic revival. Pointed windows give that away. It has along its edges, both edges, buttresses. They're not very large, but they're very typical for these Gothic revival churches. Even the grotto in back has a neo-Gothic look to it. And that was very typical, of course, from 1870s to 1900. So this fits that style very well and is well maintained. So there's a building in back, I believe it's a social center, and it also maintains that look itself. And the grounds itself are small, but there's a park across the street, so it's a wide open neighborhood, and there's a lot to it.
And really quick, before we continue with the rest of our interview, just to fill our listeners in, for more information or to sign up for any of his various tours, you can check out his website at holyokecanaltour.org. And there you can find videos and podcasts of the stops along each of his tours, as well as photos and text of the historical sites throughout as well. And for private tours and other inquiries, you can email him directly at bobcat4214B@yahoo.com. And his tours make for fun, educational, outdoor activities for families and group parties. So getting back to our interview, what was done with the 5 Catholic churches of Northampton?
They were joined together. They weren't succeeding very well individually. There were 5 of them, and so they joined them all together to form into one under the name St. Elizabeth Seton. And in that way, they would have a mass at one of them, and then the other ones would be used for other functions. And as long as you have one religious function per month, you don't have to pay taxes on the building. And they set up pretty nicely for themselves. Now, this Blessed Sacrament one was set up to have masses inside of it once or twice a Sunday. The other one, Our Lady of Annunciation, also had that. That's in the Florence area. The Sacred Heart Church, and that was on King Street. That one had the most masses of all, and that was the administrations of the sister of the St. Elizabeth Seton Church, or parish, within Northampton. The St. John Cantius was a Polish Catholic church, and they would have events there like marriages and prayer groups. I don't believe they're having it now. And then there was St. Mary's Church, which was the oldest parish of all. And there they'd have like one marriage per month there, or a prayer group. And then they ended up selling that, St. Mary's. So they were all joined together into one. And that succeeded for a long time. I believe it was about 20 years ago they did that. And I think they sold one off. I have 3 left, and one's being repaired for some reason. All right. Now, most importantly, is the next question now.
And what is the neighborhood around the church like?
All right. Across the street, there's Child's Park, which is a private park where the public is invited during daylight hours. To the right side of Blessed Sacrament Church, there is the Northampton High School. And most importantly, there is behind the Blessed Sacrament Church a community based upon the former canals that they used to have inside of Northampton. There were 7 power canals, each with their own mills. So if you go back into those neighborhoods, you'll see the Mill River, and then you'll see several, sometimes the canal's still there, sometimes not, but you'll see several mills in that community. Also up in that area to the left is the hospital. And so it's in a neighborhood which is the end of the neighborhood that we consider to be Smith College. Then it starts with Victorian homes. Then it comes in with the hospital, Child's Park. And then the road, bearing towards the right, heads up towards Florence. So this is the very edge of Northampton's village itself. And thus, it's in a very active area, and there's more people around than you might expect to.
And thank you, Robert, for educating us on your chores and historical topics of your expertise. And of course, we want to thank our listeners for tuning in. And you can check out a large selection of our other podcasts on this website, as well as on SoundCloud.com. And be sure to check out new videos and podcasts posted daily. And we hope you join us again. Thank you.